Welcome to By George, an 80 Players podcast. My name is Jesse GrothOlson. I am the marketing director here at the George and the guest host for today's episode, featuring the one and the only, thankfully, Bob Smiley.
Oh, that was a good.
Thank you.
What do you call those? A little dig there at the beginning. Yeah. But well, no.
Here's how I was going to start. I was going to Robert Smiley. Can I call you Bob?
Yeah. Oh, that's good too.
Thank you.
All right, but we're not gonna continue to dig at each other.
No.
I don't want to do that, Justin.
No, that's fine.
But it is great to be on. This is a podcast? I'm a huge fan.
I'm told it will be.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we'll see how this goes.
I wanted to ask you about your high school basketball record.
Yeah, 42 points against Prosper.
That's right.
I mean, I think I can't really remember.
Okay, no, that was.
You
want
to know how sad that is, though? I do call the school.
Yeah.
Every year.
Uh-huh.
And the principal now is. She was my computer teacher. It was her first year teaching, and so I call, and sometimes. They'll put me on hold and be like, and she'll pick up the phone and she'll just go, yeah, you still got it. And just hang out.
That is perfect. That's
42 points against Prosper. But
that's unbelievable.
But I've done some other things since then. Do you want to talk about some of those?
I guess I have to.
I was lights out that night, by the way. It was to the point where we can talk about other stuff.
No, I'm not continuing it.
They put two people, you keep asking me about it.
Yeah.
They put two people on me, and so I backed away.
Sure.
And Carlos Rodriguez was our point guard, and he was a phenomenal point guard. But at one point, he's driving, and he gets like blocked in the snake pit, and he jumps up, and he just throws the ball to me. I catch it because I'm in such a zone. This is how much of a zone I was. I shoot it, and it swishes because I shot it.
Yeah.
And the ref like blows the whistle and calls it off, and I'm like, that's a 3-pointer.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, you're out of bounds. And I looked, and I'd moved so far away to draw the two people on me.
Draw them out.
Yeah. That's how in a zone I was. I was never like that again.
Yeah.
But it was a phenomenal.
Well, and that's so Carlos to dish like that.
Carlos is doing that all the time. Like he still will drive by and leave a basketball, in my driveway.
Yeah.
He still wants to be a part of it.
Well, that makes two people who are still excited about that statistic. That's fantastic.
No, I called my mom today, and she said she's no longer excited about my career.
That's good.
Or my statistics.
Yeah,
there.
she's over it.
Yeah, she's over it.
Okay.
So it's just me.
We had a good run.
I did.
Yeah. And now something new.
I don't know what else.
I know.
I'm good at mowing.
Sure. Okay. No, I do have some questions, and mine will mostly be, I think, around comedy. It's the thing that intrigues me the most.
Oh, good.
What do you think is the biggest thing that audiences don't know about stand-up comedy?
That's a great attempt at a question.
Yeah.
I think we should tell the listeners.
I didn't even punctuate it correctly. So it's not even, it wasn't an attempt at a question.
It's
declarative.
It's actually a sentence.
Yeah.
We should say this early on that you and I have been friends for a while.
Yeah.
So as this random silliness continues, like people need to know that
that it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to put it
because I don't want people to think like, wow, he's being a jerk to Bob.
No,
that's my worry because you are, but it's okay.
Obviously.
Because we're friends.
No, that's good. That's caretaking to the audience, letting them know what to expect and that it is okay. And that's probably a comic's first big job is like, hey, you're okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna laugh at some jokes now.
Yeah.
Everybody quit being offended. I think the hardest thing that the audience doesn't really realize is how much it takes to get to the stage. So I think they'd be a little more appreciative or give you a little more grace if they realize like you've been flying for 6 hours and standing in a rental car line and you and I were talking about this off the air, but people are like, oh, you're a rock star. And I'm like, you should see me at 4 a.m. dragging my suitcases across the snow from the rental car place to the airport to check in for my one of 3 flights to get to the next city and stuff. And the comedy world, it is an incredible hour on stage, but then the 23 hours to, around that is not as glamorous as everybody thinks.
Yeah, it's like the least rock star thing that you can imagine.
Yeah.
It's funny how when you're on the stage and you have the mic and the lights are up, people will be giving you their attention and paying attention to you, and there's something about that. When that's all gone, you're just some dude trying to get to Wichita or whatever it is that you're like, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, that's good. What do you find funny? What is funny to you?
I like quick-witted comedy. I like when people can, like when they're asked something, then they like have a fast answer.
What is the next question? No, that's good. How does that relate then to like, there's what you find funny, but then
Can I tell a quick story?
how do you? Yeah.
That I might have told you. I mean, because this is the format, right?
Yeah, of course it is.
I may have told you this when we had lunch last, but so me and Mojo, the lead singer of the Supertones, when we were on tour, we would get picked up by the runner every morning, and they would drive me and him to the hotel. And we did this every single day. We would get in the back seat. And of course, Mojo was like a true rock star.
Yes.
And so the runner that was driving us was always like super nervous and stuff. And as soon as we'd get in the car, Mojo would go, "Smiley, how come you're so funny?" And then I wouldn't say a word. And we'd drive all the way to the hotel. And then I would, right before I'd open the door, and of course the runner's uncomfortable.
Just absolutely sweating.
Because they're like, why
isn't he answering? Do I need
like,
to?
that's Mojo. How do you ignore Mojo?
Do I step in?
And then I would just go, timing. And then open the door. And we would get people all the time where they would just start dying laughing because they were like, "Oh, this was a bit. Like this was a bit."
Well, you build tension, and then you break it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's some aggressive tension.
It was pretty great.
You like speed, quick, fast response, that sort of thing. How does that relate then to when you're trying to make other people laugh? Because sometimes like what I find funny, not everybody's going to find funny.
Yeah.
So how do you weld those two together?
I will not do a bit. I won't bring a bit on stage until I feel like it has like at least 4 to 6 jokes per minute. A lot of comics, they will start with a premise and they will take it to the stage and they will try to, massage it and work it out and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, no, everybody that comes to see me at some point has paid. Sometimes it's a high dollar ticket, sometimes it's not, but they're invested. And if they're going to come, they should get my A material and stuff. So I like that quick pace. So if I'm on stage, I'm going to have thought about it a lot of time. I'm going to, worked it out, and then I'm going to hopefully have it memorized and I'm ready to go. But I don't like those, long pauses and stuff. They came to see a comedian, and comedians make people laugh. So I want to have laughs per minute as much as I can.
That's cool. How do you work it out? Where do you work it out?
I work it out just on stage because I stay so busy that I will work. Now, I usually will I will try usually 3 to 5 minutes new every single time I get on stage. And so that's how I kind of work it out. So I've got stuff that I know is working, is good. And then I just sandwich it in the new stuff and try that. And if it works, great. If not, I go back to the hotel, have a good cry, and then rework it.
Yep. How would you say you learned how to do stand-up comedy?
I learned how to do it last Thursday.
Excellent.
So it took me a little while. You got me
just the right time.
Right. This is the sweet spot.
The zenith of the career.
This is the time to bring me in. So how did I learn to do it? I grew up with a really funny dad, and my dad's friends were really funny. He had 3 friends from college. They're still, the funny foursome. And so because I love comedy so early on, I remember just studying my dad and Garner, really his best friend, or Sloan, Wazo, and Garner are the other 3. And I just remember anytime they were all in a room, it does sound like a Marx Brothers.
It does.
I've never really
that or a law
it.
firm. Either one of those two, it'll be fine. Yeah.
Garner, Sloan, Wazo, and Smiley. Yeah, that is a law firm. That's not going to win a lot of cases.
We will fight for you. Yeah. We'll lose, but we will fight for you.
But we will. We'll go on retainer. We'll
take your money.
We'll give you a retainer.
We'll take your money. Yeah.
No, they were so funny. In fact, so when I was a very young kid, my dad was taking me and his best friend Garner and Garner's son, who was about the same age as me. We were all going on a quail hunting trip. And so we piled into this 1-seater pickup truck, and we're driving out to go quail hunting. It's super early in the morning. And my dad and Garner are just being hilarious. They're just riffing with each other. And I feel bad. But Garner's son wanted to talk to me because we were both, 7.
Yes.
And I remember shushing him because I was like, shh, no. I want to hear this.
Yeah.
I want to hear this because I just loved studying just the back and forth, stuff. So I studied it all growing up. And I would watch my dad. So he was a superintendent, and I would watch him do school assemblies and things like that. And he would always make the kids laugh. And I was like, oh, that's the icebreaker. Yep. And now they're going to actually listen to him. Yes. Yeah, I remember one time, there were two funny stories with that assembly deal. One, somebody donated money as a grant for, or not a grant, but to give a scholarship for college. And so he announced that it was going to Kelly, the senior, who was well-deserved of it. And he goes, but they said they wanted to do it anonymously. So I need everybody to raise your hand that thinks Kelly should get it. Okay, it's anonymous.
That's good.
And of course, at the time, nothing against the way I grew up or the farm people. Right. But I grew up in a very backwoods, country town with 281 people in it. And so the amount of kids that didn't get it, and then me and like the valedictorian was laughing, and I was like, okay, that's what I want to be. My dad knew that was hilarious, and he knew it would probably not, it would probably bomb, but he knew he did it for him. And I love that.
Or for the 3 people that he knew would get it, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes there's a joke, you're like, this isn't for everybody, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So my senior year, they gave out perfect attendance, and I got perfect attendance every year because my dad's a superintendent. And my mom was a teacher there.
Oh, so
well.
you had no choice.
Yeah, the parent-teacher meetings were terrible.
Right.
It was just, what are we going to do with him? But so...
She's just muttering to herself in the kitchen, smoking a cigarette.
I wish somebody would... And I decided it would be hilarious to skip the day that they gave... And so literally my dad is standing in the gymnasium giving out the awards, and my dad drove me to school.
Yeah, so
but then
you
I was
should have been there.
Gone. Yeah. And he goes, perfect attendance, Bob Smiley. Bob. And I had my friend Clay Farrell go, he's absent. It was like the perfect.
So good.
It was so good. Yeah. So we love stuff like that. We love
That's awesome.
stuff. My dad would eat lunch with me at school, and even though I was a goofy little redheaded nerdy kid, everybody wanted to sit at our table to listen to me and my dad be funny.
Riff.
And we would tell stories, and a lot of it was like old street jokes and stuff. But
of course,
you remember so this is an old joke, but you tell the joke about this cat who gets stuck in a freezer, and then you take him out. Do you know this?
I don't think I know that.
Okay, you take the cat. Of course, you make it believable. So you're telling it like first person.
Right.
And you take the cat out, and you call the vet, and you're like, this cat, and you end up hair drying the cat to try to thaw it out and everything. And you have a mom that's frantic, is like, no, the cat's still alive. We can still save it and everything. You call the vet, and the vet's like, I don't know what to tell you, but you can try to shock the system. You can put some whiskey, and then you say, well, we're a Christian family. We don't have whiskey. We do, but we just don't broadcast it.
And we don't tell anybody.
Yeah, and you just build this story up a huge, and so you go, you tell the vet, well, I've got some weed eater gas, and I go out and will that? And he goes, yeah, anything that you pour in the mouth and it'll shock the cat, and if the cat really is still alive, then that might work. So you pour the gas in, and so you're telling this whole table full of deal, and I'm like, so I pour the gas in, and all of a sudden the cat just goes and coughs, and guys, you're not going to believe this. It jumps up, it runs out in the yard, it runs 3 times around the oak tree in our backyard, which all the kids knew the big oak tree because we all climbed it. And all of a sudden the cat just runs 3 times around and then just goes, and then just falls over. And somebody always goes, so it died? And my dad and we started, because the punchline is, no, he ran out of gas.
Yep.
So one of the most best, it's so stupid.
But you've set that groundwork and that pace to be as believable as possible. Yeah.
So one day, and we never planned anything.
No.
My dad sits down and he looks over and he goes, how's your mom doing? And I was like, she's not doing good. Because I didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
And there's 20 kids at our table. And he goes, do you think we should get a new cat? And as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, I know exactly where he's going with this. And so, of course, people are like, what happened to the cat? And then we go on the story, and he and I are bouncing off, and we're adding stuff to it. It was so great. The other one is, and I know you've got 2 other questions. Well, I'm sure we'll get to, but
they're all very good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, good. So you start out slow and then taper off.
That's the idea. Yeah.
So
my Sabbath episode.
Yeah. So my dad had a secretary who was in her late hundreds and named Miss White. And Miss White literally would sit and watch until the clock hit 5 and then she was out of there.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I was in there talking to her and she looked up and it was 5:01. And I was in the middle of telling her something very important. She was like, and she was out. She was gone. So that's her. So one day I walk in the superintendent's office and my dad walks in and we're just standing there and we're waiting for a guy to come in. So my dad just goes, 11. And so I know exactly what he's doing, start laughing. You know this?
No.
And so I start laughing and my dad goes, so I go, 43, and my dad busts out laughing.
Oh, I do know this one. Yeah.
This is an old prison joke.
It's a prison joke. That's what I know it as. Yeah.
But that's what we do. We take these old jokes and we would just
live it
out.
Yeah.
And so we do that about 3 times before Miss White takes the bait, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And my dad was like, "Oh, Bob and I have told all the same jokes. We just numbered them, and we just say them.
It's just faster.
Faster." And she takes the bait, and she goes, 87. And my dad goes, Miss White, not in front of my son.
There you go.
And it was, and she was like, I don't know what 87 was. I'm so sorry. I was just like,
you should be think about that before you start talking.
How dare you use that kind of language?
Kind of crazy.
So that's how I grew up.
So it just made perfect sense.
It made perfect sense.
There's this idea, right, of like there's a flow of a narrative, there's a story, there's something that's happening, and you're either with it and you understand it, or you're not with it and you don't understand it. And I feel like there's that commonality among a lot of creatives where someone just starts a bit and you either know that a bit has started or you have no idea.
Yeah.
And so if you're the person who has no idea, it's like magical,
Yeah.
right? They're like, how did you know?
Will anger you.
Oh, frustrate them to no end.
I found that out 6 years ago when I married Sarah. And she's fine with me saying this as long as she doesn't hear it.
Yeah, we'll bleep it out. We'll send it to her directly.
Yeah. Oh, I know you will. I know you really will. You're probably texting her now, letting her know. That
she's on speaker now. In fact, here she is, Bob, if you don't know.
Like, bring her in.
Yeah.
No, she's safely on a flight right now. But she would get mad when I would do stuff like that. And, of course, now I've got this wonderful person who's not heard any of these old stories.
Oh.
And so she really would get mad thinking that I was making a fool out of her because I was telling these stories that was like a bait and hook.
Yeah.
A bait and switch, kind of thing. And a bait and hook is how I got her to marry me. But the bait and switch thing is, no, that's still how I got her to marry me. But
so we all get them.
Yeah, so she would actually get angry.
Yeah.
And I'd have to be like, no, this is just me. This is us just being funny. We're not making a fool out of you. We all fell for these jokes. These are just
and there's something about there's a commonality and sort of social grooming aspect of a joke where if you all get it, then you all know that you all belong.
Yeah.
And if you don't quote unquote get it, or if you feel like you're the butt, and then you're like, well, then I don't belong and I'm on the out, and that's not.
I watched a documentary on comedians one time, and this comedian, and I can't remember who it was, but he said that he will tell this joke to test to see if we can hang out. This guy walks into a bar, and he has a giant round orange head. And finally the bartender gets the courage, and he's like, dude, I don't want to embarrass you, but what's with the giant orange round head? And he goes, well, I was shipwrecked, and I found a genie bottle, and I rubbed it, and a genie came out, which I didn't even think was real, but the genie said, I'll give you 3 wishes. And so I wished every time I reached in my pocket, I'd pull out the money that I needed for whatever I was buying at the time. And then, of course, I wished, and that happened. As soon as I put in my hand, $20 bill. And I also wished to obviously get off the island. And boom, I'm in New York City, and I'm off the island. And then for my 3rd wish, and this is where I think I went horribly wrong, I wish for a giant orange round head.
That's so stupid.
And that's so stupid. That's a joke. That's a joke.
That's good. Yeah.
And he tells that joke
Yeah.
to see if,
Yeah.
if you laugh,
Do you get it?
then
Yeah.
then we're going to be friends.
That's good.
We're going to be friends. That's why most of my friends are comedians. Not that I have anything against normal people.
The normies.
But there's a thing, you know, I talk about Hawkins a lot because he's pretty, he's my best friend. But we literally would do his podcast and we would not plan anything, but we would get on the bus and we just start talking about random stuff. But every once in a while we just look at each other and be like, oh, here we go. We're gonna take people for a ride. We're gonna go. It's gonna be bit central.
Yeah.
You know? And we just both knew how to do it. And
I have a friend named Mike who, when we were back in college, we were on improv teams together, and he came to visit me. He came down to Texas from Minnesota, and we're sitting at the kitchen table, and we were just talking, and I was like, "Oh, for real? Did you hear about Nebraska's Board of Tourism new slogan?" And he was like, "No, what is it?" I go, "It's literally this, Nebraska. It's not for everybody." And then I just said, "Can you imagine being in the meeting where that got pitched?" And without anything, we just both fell in, right? And so he's sitting at my kitchen table and goes, "Hey, well, thanks for coming in today. We're real excited to hear what you guys have come up with." You know, and we just start riffing the scene, and it was like, no one plays with me. But you're here and you play with me. And that's there's something about that that's really...
What about, it's not for everyone, Brad? Like, did they start with...
Yeah. That's a real specific ad
let's
campaign.
don't make it that specific, but...
What do you think jokes do for us as humans? Why do we, as these creatures and these things, why do we joke? What is that? What do you think it's doing for us?
It's a release. And it's an ego stroke.
Sure, yeah.
So the person making people laugh, you feel good.
Super affirmed.
Feel good, yeah, because you're like, oh, I was able to think of something in my brain and then articulate it that created your body to do something that it wasn't doing.
Yeah.
Like a spontaneous burst of laughter. That's a great feeling. People like to be made to laugh because it releases endorphins. It's, it's just, it feels good. I talk a lot about it because anytime people are like, why should I come to your show? I'm like, it's escapism. Like, come and just laugh for an hour and listen to me go into puberty, which I'm getting really close to.
Yeah, which is just in time for your career shift. So that's actually very exciting.
It's very good timing.
Yeah.
It's another great thing of comedy. But no, I'm like, just come. Whatever's going on in your life, just come and even just a 5-second laugh. It's just a release, like it's an escape from reality just for a second. And then you can be back in reality, and then, each individual laugh is just an escape for a second.
And that's nice because it's not destructive. It's not cheap. It's not false. It's a true relief.
Yeah.
As believers, why did God give us jokes? What about him are we supposed to learn from the fact that jokes exist and laughter exists?
Oh, that's a great question.
Thanks.
Somebody wrote that for you.
Miranda
I was
handed that to me now. So I don't even really understand it, but if you can answer, that'd be great.
Well, it's written in the original Greek too.
Yeah.
So that's I think God gave us laughter to get us through hard times. Like I think he gave us laughter for many, many reasons, but I think one is to get us through hard times. Also, as a believer, especially in today's society and where I live and where you live, it's really hard not to have a big picture mindset of what's the ultimate goal and keep heaven in mind and all that. You can get really wrapped up in here, and it can be a depressing place. And so I think laughter is, again, back to the escapism. It's just kind of a like, hey, this help you get through the day. But ultimately, your end result and where you're headed is going to be way better than here. And so I think it's just a little glimpse of heaven. Like you're dealing with a lot of stuff, and all of a sudden there's just a little bit of release.
That's really good, but we'll cut that out.
Yeah, of course.
Do you think your real life makes you funnier? Do you think the things that happen to you, that you experience, that you're daily, do you think that helps that pushes that craft?
It does, but I have to be conscious. I have to be awake.
Yeah.
And I also have to be conscientious.
If there was a grasshopper,
I'm so glad I don't speak for a living. Can you imagine me on stage?
Depending on words?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. For your livelihood?
Yeah. Whew. So I have to be aware of getting out and living life because I really do love my wife and I really do love my kids. And so when I'm home, it can be dangerous I don't want to go do anything. I just want to be home with them. I just want, to have dinner, play games. And so a lot of my show is centered around my life. It's centered around my kids and my family and stuff, which is great because everybody has a family so it's relatable. But my whole show can't be about my kids. And so I have to be very aware of going out and experiencing life. So I, leave every single day. I go to the gym, the post office, HEB. If I really want to write something and don't have any ideas about, something outside of my home that I want to write about, I'll go sit at the mall and just watch people, listen to conversations at the food court and stuff. And so I do have to kind of be aware of I need to be out experiencing life so that I can then go back to my office and write about all of the funny things that I've observed.
So the joke almost starts outside of you, and then as it passes through the filter of you, your past, your experience, then you go, okay, what came out of that? Oh, yes, I see this connection.
That's exactly
that's incongruity.
That's very articulate of exactly how I write. I experience it, then I gather it, I take it, I put it through the joke machine, and then I have to put it through several times to get it ready, and then I take it to the stage.
That's interesting. What's the best advice you've ever been given about comedy?
Oh man, that's
be frugal.
You especially starting out, you got to be frugal. You got to be have laugh ears. Don't ever lose your laugh ears. And laugh ears is defined as you hear the audience. A lot of comics, they'll get their set down so much, or they've been doing it long enough and they have had a period of time where they're good. They lose their laugh ears. And so they're not really hearing the response over the bits. They're so comfortable on stage. They just get up and they do it. And they think they're killing because they don't really have laugh ears. And so somebody told me that really early on is like, develop your laugh ears, which, of course, people on the videos are like, wow, you overdeveloped. But they're like, you got to develop your laugh ears and keep them throughout your career. And so anytime I do a new bit, I slow down a little bit, not because I don't have it memorized, but because I'm like, I really want to hear
really reading
where
room.
the laughs are.
Yeah.
And
that's good. What's the advice that you always give people when people ask you for advice?
Write every day. People are always like, I want to be a comedian. I'm like, don't. Too many of us, But if you are, write every single day. You're not always going to feel funny.
Right.
But that's your job. So if you really want your job to be doing comedy, you got to sit down and write, even if you don't feel funny, but write for 15 minutes a day, because you'll be surprised how just that exercise, like going to the gym every single day, it'll get easier and easier. Plus, I've written stuff where I didn't think I was funny, wrote some stuff, saved it, came back 2 months later, looked at it and be like, oh, that's not well written, but it's a great premise.
Yeah,
and
it's in there.
And I would have not thought of it ever again if I wouldn't have actually written it down. So it's so simple, but just write every day.
It's either Gary Goldman or Pete Holmes that said it's the only job you can forget how to do overnight.
Yeah, I think it's Holmes.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a show. No, I don't have a show this weekend. Yeah. And it's kind of rare for me not to have like a weekend show. And then I have a show next weekend. So that's two weeks. And I'm going to have to sit in the green room and go over my show because it's amazing how I've been doing it 27 years and you just get rusty right away.
That's crazy.
The other advice is, and this comes from Seinfeld, but he tells a story of how whenever he first started out, he was sitting in his apartment and it was lunchtime and he was watching these construction workers go back to work right after lunch. And he goes like, they didn't want to go back. They were dragging their feet, but they were going back to work because that's their job. And he thought to himself, so then what am I complaining about?
Yeah.
If that's my job, I'm going to show up every day.
Yeah.
Even if I don't feel like I want to write, I'm going to show up and write every day. Now, I don't know what happened to him because I heard that interview like 20 years ago. I don't know if he's done anything since then, but he was good at the time.
Gary nailed it. He goes, do you remember the guy who played Jerry on Seinfeld? I'm like, doggone it, man. That's
so
that's
good.
the joke.
That is so good.
Yeah. Oh, if you weren't a comedian, what would you be doing?
Honestly, I think I mowed lawns when I was a kid. And I mean, I mowed for like 7 years.
Yeah.
And I made great money and I loved it. I love being out in the open doors. I've turned this into a bit, but all I did is told the truth because this is actually completely true. We called it Smiley Brothers Mowing Company. And our motto was, we give you mower for your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it
And
is. There it is. That honestly, you ran a business for 7 years just so you could say that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we only had one store in our little town. So we would put up a little flyer with the tear off things. And every widow that owned a farm,
of course,
thought that was the cutest thing in the world. And so
course.
we stayed busy. We made so much money.
Yeah.
So I know it's a cutthroat business, but I honestly think I might mow.
Yeah.
Like landscaping, I love it.
There's something so clean and simple and free about it, right?
Yeah.
Where you're just like, I mowed it. You can see I mowed it.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Yeah.
And I'll get an opportunity to do it again next week.
Yeah. It's satisfying. Yeah, you walk, you step off on the driveway and you look and you go, I did that. You can be proud of that.
Yeah, I
like my dry bar specials or my 4 comedy books that I've written for middle school kids who focus on the family called The Adventures of Average Boy. Go ahead.
No, we'll cut all of that out.
I was trying to think more analogies.
All of that out. Yeah, for sure.
When I left, my wife was like, you and Jesse are you're not going to say anything real. So make sure you get in about your books.
We did like 2 things. We did like 2 things that were like nice and real. Like, I don't know. We're trying.
I missed one of them.
We're trying. That's okay.
I remember the other one.
Yeah, I know.
But she was like, talk about your books. I was like, okay, I will in the first interview. I don't think.
Talk about your books. I don't know. I wrote them. They're fine.
I mean, children all over the world love them, but I mean, do we really want to just sit and talk about that when we could talk about that? I scored 42 points against Prosper.
Change lives.
Change lives.
Glory days.
Yep.
I mean,
changed lives. Wrote some books.
That's right. Right. What's the maybe not best, but like, what's your favorite gig that you've ever done?
Oh man, I've had some great gigs. I did an assisted living show at like 3 p.m.
Yeah.
And
killed.
It was so the guy told me, he was like, man, we just been down. We've actually lost some people. We would love it. And he went to church with me. And he was like, would you just come do just a show for them? And I was like, okay. So they bring them in, and they weren't as old as like it was a assisted living. It wasn't like a convalescent. What do they call that?
Yeah.
But anyway, but there was a lady who had Alzheimer's down front, and I start my show, and she thinks that I'm talking to her. Mm-hmm. And so she starts talking back to me, and I realized, because my great grandmother had Alzheimer's, and so I immediately recognized what she had, and so I wasn't going to be mean. I wasn't going to be, and everybody was. And there was only like 50 people there, but they were tense at first because they thought I was going to be mean to her. But everything she said to me, thankfully, I either had a bit or I could think of something funny to say back. So we kind of riffed, and every once in a while she would kind of stop or drift off a little bit, and so I would start talking and doing my bits, and then I would say something that would like remind her of something, and so for the hour she was interacting with me the whole time. And through it, I found out she was from Alabama. And so I'm thinking how to close my show. And it's with a slam against Alabama. And I do that. And I do the Alabama joke. And she stands up like she's going to hit me. And I'm like, oh, this was going so well.
Yeah, this turned.
And she just hugs me. Aww. She just pulls me in and hugs me. And she's like, this is the best conversation I've had in so long. And of course, everybody else is dying laughing. Yes. And I'm like, okay, that is one of the best. So that, and then I was in Lake Jackson. I was in Lake Jackson. I was doing a private school. They do anti-proms, so they don't want the kids dancing and stuff.
Right,
so they bring in a male model like myself. Mm-hmm. So they bring the...
That'll stop the dancing in its tracks.
Yeah. So they bring me in. They have dinner. They're all dressed in, to the nines, and they have dinner, and then they serve cheesecake, but they go, hey, we're going to put the cheesecakes on the plate, but we have a comedian, so let's give him respect. which I had to tell them. I was like, look, if you serve dessert and put me on,
no one's gonna, no one's paying attention.
You're wasting your money bringing me in.
Yep.
And so they did that. But it was also, they had rented out the venue. So the venue had servers and the servers had to serve at a certain time. So they actually, the kids were like, oh, comedian, let's, And so they're all in little round tables. There's no stage. I'm just standing in the room.
Yeah, that's good.
And there's this little freshman kid who turns his chair around with his back up against his table. And I tell like the first 3 jokes, and he bends over, like lays down on his legs because he's laughing so hard. So he folds over in his chair. And he was doing that like every 3rd joke or something. And so he does that. And so I immediately reach over, grab his fork, and I take a bite of his cheesecake and then drop it. And then he leans back up and people are laughing. And then in my mind, I'm like, oh, it's on now.
You got to eat that whole cheesecake.
I got to eat the whole cheesecake.
Yeah. No,
so
if you're taking one bite.
The next 50 minutes, I am thinking through what punchlines I think he would really like. And, as he's falling down, I'm like, quick bite. I eat his entire cheesecake. And then I ended the show by going, oh, man, you guys have been a blast, but I know you guys got cheesecake. Everybody, you guys can, turn your chairs around and enjoy your dessert. I'm Bob Smiley. Thank you. And he turns around and he goes, who ate my cheesecake? And of course they were like, he did.
Everyone.
And he's like, there's no way he ate my cheesecake.
Yeah.
And it was magical. Like anytime something magical like that happens, it's never going to happen
and you
again.
Can't plan it. No, it's never going to happen again. That's interesting though. I think oftentimes that may be one of the elements that most audience members aren't aware of, is that sort of split awareness of trying to do the bits and plan.
Yeah.
So your laugh ears on, listening, is this working? Okay, this is working. I don't have to worry about that part of it. This is going to be working. What else? Where am I going? How else is this going? And to be able to do those things simultaneously.
You got to be, and you teach a comedy class, right?
It's as good as this interview. So let's just say that.
Okay, so you don't teach a comedy class.
No, I take an attempt at it.
But you probably would teach this if you taught a good comedy, but you have to be 3 to 5 jokes ahead.
Easily.
Yeah. And so you got to be thinking, you got to be delivering it, you got to be reading the crowd in real time while you're delivering it to know, because some jokes, some punchlines, you have to deliver it a little differently to match whatever crowd you have. So you got to be conscious and in the present there, but you also have to be thinking 3 to 5 jokes ahead of where am I going to take this? Because you're also reading the crowd, and some bits you want to pull out, or you think of an older bit that will do better for that. And it's pretty fascinating how the brain, you can train your brain to do that. Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest change you've seen in the art form in the last 10 years?
Clean comedy is on the rise. And again, I talked about this in the podcast I enjoyed. Yeah. But like Nate Bargatze, John Chris, all these guys that are really successful, and Hollywood is noticing it, and theaters are noticing it, and people are, like, oh, they're selling out 8,000 seat venues. So people do want clean comedy. So for a long time, clean comedies weren't getting made, all that, because, Hollywood and people in the entertainment business were like, people don't want clean. They don't want clean. And now they're being forced to look at the numbers and be like, oh, there's a big, huge majority of people in America that want clean.
Maybe people do.
Comedy. Yeah. And so now they're because they want to be part of the money bag. Yeah. They're jumping on board. And so I've seen that change quite a bit. Also, the other way that comedy has changed is, and I feel like it's going back, but the offensive-ness and the fear of being canceled and everything. You're watching people put specials out, 4 years ago, that these comedians, and that they could be a little more cutthroat or work a little bit, take it in a different direction, and you're seeing them not do that, and you're like, oh, it's because everybody's afraid to get canceled. Everybody's afraid they're going to say something that's going to get requoted and, take out of context and all that kind of stuff. I feel like that's going back.
It does feel that way. It almost feels like people are realizing, like, oh, the only people who were canceling me were the people who weren't going to watch me anyway.
Yeah, they weren't coming to the shows. And
so, that's interesting.
Daniel Tosh?
Yeah.
Daniel Tosh had a great line. He told a very offensive but very funny joke. and half the crowd booed. And he goes, and I'm probably going to get it wrong because I only saw him do it one time, but he goes, "Oh, let's go to a comedy show, but I hope he doesn't say anything offensive and funny." And he just says that as a quick, and I was like, oh, that's brilliant, because you're basically, the people that are booing, you're like, why are you here then?
Yeah, you paid for this.
Like, you know what comedy is. It's pointing out the absurdity of everything. And I'm Daniel Tosh. Of course you're going to get that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I hope, I hope someone finds you. That would be great, into this clean comedy thing.
It'd be nice. Although, I got a lawnmower and a weed eater, so I got a backup plan.
You're fine. Yeah, you're
I'm
like,
gonna be good.
No pressure. You don't think I'm funny? That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do Grace's Petunias.
Yeah.
Which would actually be a great name of a comedy club.
That would be.
Grace's Petunias.
So much better than all the Chuckle Hut and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I could do that, or I could just, sit back and continue to write my book series for middle school kids through Focus on the Family. Adventures of Average Boy.
Do you have any gigs coming up, like on September 12th at 7:30 p.m. here at the George, with tickets available at 80players.org, that you want to promote, or anything else like that?
Nah.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what's really good?
I am super excited to play in this.
We're excited to have you. We're excited to see what we're seeing, a growth in exactly what you were saying, a growth in an appetite for clean comedy. The minute we say we have comics coming, I don't get anything. I say we have clean comics coming, all of a sudden, people are like, oh, it's clean.
Oh, so you're seeing it. Okay. So you're seeing
absolutely.
Oh, good.
Absolutely. And it's a way that we're trying to get people who aren't 65 plus to come to a theater and to go, oh, that was fun.
Yeah. I
had fun in real life with other people. I forgot we liked to do that.
Yeah.
And, and they had other things that might also interest me. So yeah, it sort of started as we just need to get new people in, but it's becoming kind of its own thing now. And we're excited about it. We're excited about it.
And the thing is, I think comedy is best in a theater, because the number of, because a comedy club, it's almost too small. It also has that kind of bar, lots of distractions. Stickiness. Yeah. But you go to a really nice theater, you're with your buddies, but you're also with a group of people that love to laugh, and they came here to laugh, and everybody's seated all together. They're facing the stage. They're elevated. There's not a bad seat. It's everything that's good for comedy. Because you probably teach this in the class that you don't teach, but there's comedy killers. And round tables, high, big high ceilings.
It's Birbiglia's joke about someone thought it'd be good to do comedy at 10 a.m. under fluorescent lights with Diet Coke. Yeah, and you're like, no, that's all incorrect.
Yeah, so the theater is, I think, the perfect place to experience comedy, and so I'm really glad you guys are doing this. Yeah,
and we're glad to have
What was the date? I don't think I have it on my calendar.
September 12th.
Okay, and what time?
7:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if my family wants to get tickets, I mean, we probably talk about this later,
we'll sell them to them. We'll give them, there's like a family discount.
What's the website?
80players.org. And that's not the number 80. It's Alpha Delta Players.org.
I need to change the link on my website.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
The thing that I think about, like what you're saying, the space doing that, I love joke repeaters. I love joke repeaters. I love when you say something funny and the person will turn to the person next to them who also clearly also heard what you just said.
Yeah.
And they repeat it to them. Yeah. And I don't know if that's some sort of social check-in or if it's a cue or what, but like, I love that because we don't do that when we're watching a special on our phone on the treadmill.
Yeah.
Right? But when you're in a space.
Hey.
Yeah. But you have that anonymity of the darkness, and you're hearing everyone else enjoy it. You're like, oh, they all enjoyed it. I wonder what I missed. Oh, I now also enjoy it. And then that social sharing.
The other thing I love is joke repeaters. Like they'll hear a joke and then they'll turn and they'll like tell the joke to a person who obviously just heard it.
Right.
Like I love that repetition.
It's like there's the explaining the bit.
Yeah.
Where I would then explain that, well, see what Bob just did. And sometimes that's all you need to do.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously, thank you for coming down and doing this. Thank you for coming doing the show. We're real excited. And I just hope that your name is big enough to draw anyone literally here. Would be
okay. Good. We've already signed the contract, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you I'm not.
Good.
But why do you think I drove down here? I need people to come out to the show.
No, it's already, what did I see earlier today? It's 8% sold.
Wow.
So,
Better than I
sky's
thought.
the limit.
Sarah, you were wrong.
That's it, guys. This has been Bob Smiley. Do check out website. Do check out his socials. He is, despite what just happened here, he is very funny, and I think you should go and give him a follow. And
I bring my A game on my social media.
Yes,
Here,
I mean, live events, but if he can put it in the can, it's so much better.
This has been By George, and 80 Players at the George Theater podcast, hosted and produced by Miranda Zapes. Listen anywhere you listen to podcasts and follow us on Instagram at By George Theater. That's THEATRE. Sure to like, share, and subscribe. And By George, we'll see y'all next time.
Awesome. All right, man. That's it. That's the deal.
No big polished end or?
No, because what she's going to do is she's going to bring in her little polished, pre-produced ending. And then she'll throw to some random bit that she liked but didn't really fit within the flow of what we were doing.
Oh, okay.
And she'll use that as that sort of outro.
Well, then she should definitely, where I talked about the...
Timing.